Hey, Beth, did you know all of your favorite podcasts, including Be There in Five, are on Amazon Music? We all know finding the best listening platform can be a challenge, but Amazon Music does it right. They make the process seamless from start to finish. You can even listen on any Alexa-powered devices you have. All you have to say is, Alexa, play the podcast Be There in Five on Amazon Music. Or if you're listening on your phone, just download the Amazon Music app, search for Be There in Five, and click follow. Thanks for supporting Amazon Music and the show. Now on to the episode. Enjoy. Caroline Moss, welcome back to the Be There in Five podcast.
Thanks for having me, Kate Kennedy.
You're doing you have the hairstyle that's so popular right now. Is that a claw clip?
It sure is. Is it popular?
Yes. It's like a half up voluminous do with a claw clip.
Well, this is how I've been wearing my hair while I'm hanging out alone in my house for my entire life. So great. A broken clock is right. Once a decade or whatever.
So we're not on video today, partially because neither of us got ready. Also, Caroline has a spray tan. May I ask what the occasion is for the spray tan midweek?
It's so funny because the last time I was on someone's podcast was Allie Fellers, Allie on the Run, and I had also just come from a spray tan. So this was sort of my routine. You know what? I don't spend any time in the sun anymore. Like I'm very, very anti-sun. But I also am very, very pro feeling tan while wearing like little clothing. So like if I put on a white tank top when you're tan, it just feels like summer, you know? So the occasion is summer. The occasion is it's just summer. I love looking like I am participating in summer.
I totally understand.
Yeah. Thank you.
I always want a spray tan, but it's hard to spend this one wild and precious life smelling like one.
Well, it's so difficult because usually my go-to schedule these days is I will take a 9 p.m. appointment. It's kind of near my house. Yeah. It's like a couple blocks away. And then the idea is that you sleep in it and then you can do like a full shower in the morning. It's hard for me to sleep at night. It wakes me up. The smell wakes me up.
Me too. And I always think about like public figures and stuff that have these constantly. And like,
you have to imagine what a Housewives reunion smells like.
Oh God.
Horrible.
And I just feel like in these times, there's got to be a better way than this god awful smell. And it has gotten better over time. But it is interesting to think of how many years we've been inhaling these fumes from the days of Jergens Natural Glow, which first introduced us to this lifestyle.
I was not a good self applicator. Like I couldn't do it. I still can't to this day.
I told you,
that's right.
The Peta Murgatroyd self tanner is pretty good because they're like the queens of self tan on Dancing with the Stars, our favorite program.
I mean, and also coming back September 16th, they finally announced the date that's coming back.
With 2 Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I don't know why they needed 2.
I think that they actually are leaning into interpersonal competition within the confines of
like
Dancing
Heidi
with
and
the
Charlie.
Stars. Yeah, I think that Heidi and Charlie worked for them, and now I think they want to take it to a different level.
But Sheena Shea still can't get on it. Bless her heart. She's been trying for years.
I think she might. I think this might be her time. That book is coming out. She just revealed her husband was cheating on her while she was pregnant. If that can't get you on Dancing with the Stars, nothing can.
If that doesn't get her on Dancing with the Stars, it simply wasn't worth it to reveal that information.
You're right.
That's got to be the whole point.
I really love Sheena's pragmatic approach to PR. Whereas she said, it doesn't even matter that my husband cheated on me while I was pregnant because nothing matters more than Scandival. I am going to hold this till a later date. I'm going to hold this. Yeah. We're holding. Okay. We're holding. She waited 2 years and change to reveal.
I can't hold shit. I like have to talk about things as they're happening.
The most I've ever waited was 2 hours, maybe. And I still told somebody in between 0 minutes and 120 minutes.
This is why I have trouble with book writing. It's like, you expect me to have all these brilliant ideas and people read them years later?
Yeah, no, thank you. I need the instant gratification of sending a tweet or putting up an Instagram story.
Precisely. Yeah. Oh, look, somebody handed me a bracelet at Track 5 this weekend that said Mama Slay. at the lakes.
Mama
You're such a
Slay
part
at the
of Be
lake.
There in 5 canon.
Oh
But
my
that's what I
God.
was wondering is if you were tanning for an upcoming lake retreat. But
Well, I actually am leaving the city for all of August. In January, I remembered that last August I was essentially on like a wellness check watch because it was so hot here. And as much as I do not miss LA, dry heat is much different than humidity, obviously. And I forgot about humidity for 4 years while I lived in Los Angeles. And then I came back and remembered humidity. And I was so miserable in August. And everybody was like, I'm at the pool, I'm at the beach. And I was like, I'm in my apartment, like racking up the world's largest electricity bill. And in January, I had gotten, because Q4 for especially a shopping Instagram, a shopping business, it's the biggest time of the year for me. So I was feeling kind of flush. I gave myself a budget and I was like, I'm going to go upstate and rent a house for the month. It has a pool. It has a stream. It has a garden. Lottie's coming with. I have like a rotating cast of friends coming up and
that is
out.
so fun.
Yeah. So this is actually not my last tan before I leave. I'm going to get one more tan the night before I go.
As you said that, you had like an ET phone home brown stain on your other finger.
That's so true. Yeah. Because I pulled off the hair cap and it had like you can't, it's like the thing about like a perfectly tan Dancing with the Stars contestant is that I'm like, I've never looked that evenly tan, even professionally tanned. Like that is like a work of art. But yeah, so I am going to be slaying at the lake in August. That's my plan.
Two things. One, it is so chic to hear people talk about dry heat because I'm not really sure I understand.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Heat is heat to me, but it's something that people that hang out in like Palm Springs talk about. Two, you're basically summering somewhere, and summer as a verb is the most chic thing in the world. And I love the foresight from January because this is how I feel on like patriotic bank holidays when everyone's at grilling various meats and on boats.
You're like, when did you plan this?
Why don't I fucking make plans?
Yeah. When did you plan this? And I am nothing if not a planner. And I realized, in August was when Nora and I decided to go away in January for like a week.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I'm going to do that again. In January, I'm going to plan August. And in August, so literally like one of the activities that I'm doing with a couple of my friends who are coming up is like figuring out like what we're going to do in January. Life is nothing if not looking ahead and planning and never enjoying what you're doing in that present moment. But that's how I operate. I was just dry heat it's just much more tolerable. Like that's all humidity is the killer. Like a day in New York that's 80 degrees, but full humidity is so much more uncomfortable than 110 degrees in LA.
And like the asphalt of it all.
The asphalt of it all, the glass, the reflections. Like I'm no scientist, only on weekends, but like it is so bad. And also my dog likes the heat. So she's always just looks like disappointed when I'm like, no, we're not going to go out for like a 5-mile walk in the middle of the day. And it's just sweaty. I don't like it.
You don't have to tell me. The thing that no one tells you about having a kid when you're deciding is you have to be outside.
You have to keep them outside. I know.
Outside is the pits like most of the year. And I'm really trying to adjust, be more fun. I mean, look at me. I'm wearing a tank top. I'm not I'm in a sweatshirt that's into arm exposure, but you don't have a choice in the elements. And I'm really excited for you to go away for August. That sounds really fun.
Thanks.
Speaking of vacations and Nora, has she returned from that cruise? Were you worried about her being on a cruise?
She's on her way home right now. I was actually invited on that cruise and I said, no, thank you. I am not into boat travel. I've never been on a cruise and I just know in my heart I would not like it. That being said, I love Vegas, and Vegas to me by description doesn't feel very aligned with my personality. And I know cruises do have casinos. I might have to revisit, but I think that it's just not for me, but they had a great time. The way that I understood it is they would be on the boat at night.
Yeah.
And then every day they would port in a new place.
Did you watch that Amy Bradley documentary?
No.
What's Netflix? That? It just came out over the weekend, and it's about a woman who went missing on a cruise ship and maybe went into trafficking by way of.
I don't want to go into trafficking.
I know.
Not a dream of mine.
Not a dream of mine. And like when I was thinking about Nora while I was watching this.
She is that meme, and so am I. And probably so are you, where they're like, my kidnappers brought me back because I was like, I asked too many questions. I was too annoying.
I tried to DJ from the back
Yeah.
seat. Like,
Can
can
I
you change the song?
have the aux?
Can I have the hogs?
But they had a really good time, and I have her on Find My Friends. So like, I was like looking where she was every day. And a lot of times I would get these very unhinged streams of like different reels and TikToks that were, like I had to watch. And it would be her location would be like the Atlantic Ocean. And I was like, well, I'm glad she's okay. Oh, but she's been gone for she's been gone for like a month.
Yeah, it's quite an epic vacation. I'm
I
excited to
know.
hear more about it.
Me
And
too.
really, she's missed nothing except that Coldplay couple. Do you care about that Coldplay couple? I feel like I don't.
I thought it was really funny, but what I don't care about is how much misinformation normally reasonable people that I follow are sharing. They're like, this is the statement made by the CEO, and it's just like the lyrics to like fix
To
you.
fix
But like,
you.
but like, I think they thought it was real. And I'm like, are we in? I can't tell which of you know that this is a joke. Like, I would never share that because A, it's not funny, and B, I know that it's fake. And like, I don't know. It just, the fun of like remedial internet, like the Coldplay couple is the first thing since the dress that I feel like truly everyone was fucking talking about, but I don't really care. I mean, I think I'm really happy for his soon to be ex-wife if she does leave him, take the money and run.
Yeah.
I want to know the story of the woman next to them who was just like
I know.
like
And that was
beaming
misinformation too. She wasn't
a part of it.
part of it, part of the company. She was like totally mischaracterized as this other person at the company whose name has now been smeared.
The problem with the misinformation is it actually kind of made the story more interesting. And then as you kind of melt down what was actually real is like, oh, none of this is that interesting. Like you're an idiot if
No.
you cheat on your spouse at a place with a jumbotron and you do not release grip during the kiss cam. That's stupid. You're stupid.
Well, there the duck and cover nature of the jumbotron. It was like if you guys just had done nothing, no one would have ever seen this. It's
Yeah.
like acting so crazy
It's the
when you're on a
Streisand effect.
jumbotron.
That's right. It is. It's the Streisand effect. And like, I don't know. It's just a brazen move to take your mistress to the Coldplay concert.
I understand that it's humiliating, but I kind of think that that may be a better way to go because it's so like I think that normal cheating would be like very like upsetting and also have to be really private because you have kids. And this is kind of a default way for the world to be like, your dad's kind of a dick.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and it's,
She just won whatever lawsuit. Like whatever. This will be a messy
right.
divorce because he's so rich or they're so rich together. But you can claim emotional damage from this. You can
Oh,
like, I mean, it's all really just
her fake statement was so, did you read that? It was very like, yes, queen. It was, it was like,
it was chat
too much.
GPT. It was like, I'm not just rising, I have risen. I'm not just winning. I'm playing a game that I devised. It's like, and a lot of people I know shared that. And I was like, this is not real. This is not real.
It was such a weird statement. But it was so hyperbolic. I think people got excited for the story to continue, but at a point we just have to drop it. Do you care about Labubus, Caroline?
No.
I really don't care about Labubus.
I don't care. It's the first time that my real like live and let live mentality, which I think I am pretty good about, has been sort of challenged. And I have to find myself being like, it doesn't matter if that adult has 18 Labubus.
Gremlins hanging from a Birkin.
From a Birkin. That doesn't affect my life. If that was, I literally have to say this to myself. That makes them happy. It's fine. Like I have like these conversations in my head because my first initial reaction is like, what the fuck?
I know.
I just don't like it.
Do
and
we
it's
have
like,
to like things? Do like
no.
I go back and forth because the yucking of a yum is not an endearing quality, and you don't want to shit on things.
Can you imagine your parents collecting Beanie Babies? Like it's age. There's a time and a place.
I know. I do like a jelly cat though.
Yeah. See. Okay. Well then, like, yeah, I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I mean, like,
but my jelly cats don't have gremlin teeth. I just don't really find them cute.
You
objectively.
Like aesthetically, you have like a problem with them. It's not necessarily the collecting of a stuffy.
Right. I don't care if you want to collect something, but I care that it is menacing.
Yeah, you want it to be cute.
Yeah. I just that would make sense to me. But that's the one cultural phenomenon lately. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm aging out of stuff. Which does bring me to our topic I wanted to chat, because last time you were on this show, Caroline, we did Mama Slay on Broadway, and
Yeah.
we had a lovely discussion about musical theater and talked about uh, it being kind of a dream of yours to be more involved with theater in some way. And here we are now, just a summer later, and you are a producer of an off-Broadway play in New York City called
How
Dilaria.
crazy. I am.
And tell me everything. How did this come about?
I like literally woke up one day and was like, I really want to produce something on Broadway or off Broadway. And most of that was like, I want to have a conversation with someone who produces.
Mm-hmm.
And I had gone to see a show with my brother, and we had gone to meet up with some of his friends, or some of our friends rather. I keep saying his friends. They're my brother's friends from college who are now people that I would call my friends. We met up after the show. They had gone to see a different show. And I was like flipping through the playbill. There were so many producers listed. And I was like, there's like a million producers. And my brother was like, you should do that. And I was like, I should do that. And then our friend Matt was like, I could introduce you to my friend who is a producer, and he lives in your neighborhood, and I'm sure he'd like love to get a coffee with you. And like, long story short is like, I met up with this guy as kind of like classic informational interview. Like, I'd love to hear about your job.
Pick your brain.
I'd love to pick your brain, and I'll buy the coffee. But yeah, it ended up being like, he was like, I'm looking for like one more lead producer on this show, which means they need to raise a certain amount of capital. Okay. It was like it was like the subtext of that is like, I am looking for money. But like,
oh, see, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, see, and I did, but I didn't like, watching it kind of unfold while you're the lead character in the thing that's happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I learned very quickly like how it all works. But producers essentially financially back the show. That's what that job is. And they put the show together. And some people are just investors where they're like, I'm going to, invest this money. And, when you recoup, I get the money back. And some people are producers where it's like they both invest the money, but then they also sort of cobble together the show. They hire the designers, they hire the directors, they have casting.
Producers financially back.
In theater. It's not always the same in film and television. Yeah. Sometimes that's just name recognition. Sometimes it's production company recognition. In this particular case, and in most theatrical cases, especially off Broadway, the producers fund the show. And it's not necessarily personal capital. It's like the producers find people who are like, yeah, I want to go in for like 5K, for 10K. And that's the money that when you recoup, when you actually sell the show, you send that back to the investors.
So it is have a conversation before when the show was like in the works or trying to be made.
Yeah, it was just about, we were just about to announce it. We had like an exclusive announcement with Teen Vogue that was happening like 5 days after the last conversation I had with these producers.
And did you raise capital?
Yeah, I actually am I am the capital for this particular thing.
Q4 was booming.
Well, you know what? I truly had thought about, maybe this is the year that I put a down payment on an apartment. Maybe
yeah.
And this is what I ended up doing with that savings.
I love that. So, not to get too in the weeds of this, but like, is there like an equity stake you get?
Yeah. So depending on your title and your contribution, a recoup of the show means you get like X returned to you plus like XX. Yeah. But honestly, also the thing is like, no one gets into theater to make money. Like truly not the actors, not like people do it for the love of the game.
Theater, podcasting.
Theater, right. This is just, it's the most volatile thing that you can invest in. It's worse than crypto. It's worse than short selling stocks or whatever those people do on Wall Street. It's like Occupy Wall Street, hashtag, like it is the worst thing that you can do. You'll almost never get your money back. But in this particular case, I felt like it was a really good investment in myself. Because it was like a huge education for me. It remains a huge education for me. And I'm going to, hopefully continue working with the producers that I've been working with on this show. And I was you essentially buy yourself a full-time job. I have been nonstop on this show for like 3 months. And I'm making $0. I, in fact, paid money to have this job.
But I kind of love that there is like a kind of clear path to getting involved in learning. For people to take a chance on you without experience is really hard. But if there's a mutually beneficial element where you're raising funds and learning and eventually can help out, you get the experience and then you can kind of parlay a career pivot or at least something part-time you can be doing that aligns with a job you love. Like, how special.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, also like, I might not have I might have the theater experience, but I, working at digital media companies for 15 years definitely provided me with a lot. It's almost like when you get to a certain level of job, and I'm sure everyone listening is sort of in the same zone, like elder millennials, like all of your skills actually can apply to like a multitude of things. Like, I'm never going to be called into surgery, and I don't think I'm going to be like a defense lawyer, but beyond that, I could probably apply something that I've done in the past to like any given job. Like, theater production is like making relationships, sending emails, like doing a budget, like managing people, making deadlines, going to meetings, like making lists, checking them twice. Yeah. It's all
in
that.
My
it's
head,
all that
you
stuff.
had like a stage manager Mike and more like in the rafters.
No, that's the stage manager. She's got her own job. That's like, we have a stage manager. She's in the rafters.
Wow.
She's in the booth. And we have our assistant stage manager who's backstage doing the quick costume changes. Honestly, my job, along with the producers at this juncture, is like, I'm barely in the theater anymore. All my work is like making sure the marketing's up to speed, like making sure our paid ads are going out. Like, it's all the business of it. Like, no one's like, we might need you to fill in for a role. Like, I wish.
I'm thinking of this as like all the only theater productions I've been exposed to, which are like high school level, which everyone's just like so all hands on deck of the actual play itself, but it's a business. So there has to
you're
be
running
people
the business
in the office.
Yeah, the producers are the managers of the company, and that's the company is the show. And Off-Broadway is more than Broadway, more of an all hands on deck. I felt like I had my hand in every sort of aspect of this show. Like, I shot a bunch of our social media content. Like, our set designer shot a bunch of our social media content. Like, it is sort of like a startup, in that like the startup lasts for X months and then it shuts down, and that is I really learned through the last 15 years, the jobs that I enjoy the most are the ones that are like, we're not working towards this thing that's like 6 months from now. Like, we have stuff we have to get done. If we don't get it done by today, then we're like really screwed. So you have to get it done by today. I work best when that's the schedule.
The inverse Gina Shea, like we were talking about. Urgency.
Right. I like work on best with urgency and then instant gratification. So like the fact that people show up to the show every night and then clap is like, it's literally like it's the best. And I'm not even on the stage, and I feel like it's just the best.
I really love this for you, and I appreciate you bringing up the transferable nature of so many skills, because I feel similarly, being self-employed and having creative careers that are theoretically disjointed. It's like being good at creatively promoting things, building relationships, and like having kind of like a manager client type of dynamic. It's like that is everywhere and everything. If you're creative and good with people and can get shit done.
And it didn't really kind of occur to me until I was really deep in this show in the end of May and especially the beginning of June, right before when we opened. Is before that I was like, I mean, I've lived like a million lives. I've worked in this industry. I've worked in that industry. I've written books. I've done my own podcast. And it's like, it kind of felt all disjointed. And this was the first job that I was like, oh, literally everything I've ever done before this is what makes me good at this. And I think that like the best part of the producing is this is kind of how I felt when I started blogging at Business Insider, which was, I was like, this is my first job. Just trust me. Like, I want to be good at it. So I'm going to be good at it, kind of thing. And I haven't had that feeling since then. And it's just that feeling of like, I have so much to learn, but I'm also like not fucking up every 2 seconds. I'm actually getting stuff done, and I'm kind of good at this. And so it's very novel to me right now. And like, I can't wait until the next project. I don't know what it'll be, but like, it's really, and the two guys that I'm working with, the ones that brought me on, are like, in the beginning, I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And they're like, yeah, you do. You'll really learn very quickly. Like, exactly what you're doing. Cause it's like, no one's asking you to like build the set. No one's asking you to direct the play. No one's asking you to act. What they are asking you to do is like schedule things and send emails and make sure that like everyone's like getting it all done. And I'm like, oh, I can manage. Like, I've managed before. And it's actually, and it's just a subject matter that I really like, which is theater.
I love having jobs or like phases where I get reacquainted with a side of myself that is just so motivated to do a good job because I want to do a
Yes.
good job.
Yeah. Like there's no fear of firing. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's been so fun. Like it really,
I
I have
love
not
that.
felt this way since it's been over 10 years for sure.
I hope this leads to so many things on the theater side for you. And I also think that like it would be a lot harder being financially unstable and like looking down this pipeline of like not always knowing if this is going to be the thing that's the money maker. But you can be pretty you have your existing job. You can be pretty strategic about what you get involved with. And it's
Yep.
like at a point you like could this be more of like a full-time gig?
Yeah. I mean, if the projects that I was investing in were returning money, like imagine the people invested in Hamilton, imagine the people invested in O'Mary,
Emotionally, the
they're just
returns have been bountiful.
bountiful
Can't
emotional
imagine
returns,
financially. Yeah.
and I think that's not the norm. And it's definitely not the expectation. And no one, in no absolute terms, does anyone ever promise you that. But I think I'm more motivated by like, I'm going to read I'm going to read a really cool script one day and I'm going to want to be able to like, you know, do
Yeah.
something with it.
Or write one.
Or write one. Sure. I
Can
think
you
that,
tell? Oh,
oh, go
sorry. Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I
I
was
was
just
just,
going to say, I just think that like money, the money thing is like so important to be transparent about because like this is an opportunity that absolutely working for myself for the last 6 years has bought me, you know, like, yes, it's my skill set. And yes, it's like who I know. But like the reason I got through that door is like 50% that kind of stuff and 50% being able to like fund it, you know?
right.
And I can't do what I did this time to every single show. Like if I produce another show, it'll be like me actually raising the money, like raising capital through other people and maybe putting a little bit in of my own money if I want to be an investor. But like this was a real opportunity that was like financially sort of sound based on choices that I've made in the past. And one of the things that I kept thinking was like, if I were still married or if I had kids, this wouldn't have been able to happen. Like I'm the only one looking out for me. And
Yep.
so it's one of those situations where sometimes I have these like really kind of sad moments where I'm like, oh my God, like my marriage ended or like, life at 38 was not exactly what I thought it was going to look. I had a very different idea of what my life was going to look like at
Mm-hmm.
38. And this was one of those moments where I'm like, well, if my life didn't look like this, then I wouldn't have been able to do this. Like it really,
Thousand
it,
percent.
it is just, you know, there, it does feel kind of aligned, but yeah, of course I wanted to be transparent that financially, like, that got me through one of the doors.
No, that's like that's literally something I had no idea about, never heard of. It's so helpful for you to explain that
Mm-hmm.
because it would be easy to kind of romanticize, how a love for theater and da 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 led you here, which it did, but it's also like twofold.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an important thing too. Like so many on so many levels, like the space between where you thought you'd be and where you are can be such a source of
Pain.
frustration or grief or whatever it is, but also like to harness the way your life looks different and do things that you couldn't be doing in the alternative is such a beautiful way to take advantage of it because money is so different when you have a kid. And I kind of miss being able to take those big bets. And I think that's such an
Yeah.
awesome realization. And I love that you did that. And honestly, it sounds really interesting. Can you tell people what it's about? And it stars
Yeah.
Conrad.
It stars Chris Briney, who's Conrad, and Ella Stiller, Ben Stiller's daughter.
Oh
And
yeah.
there are Reddit rumors that the Stillers have funded this show. I can put them to rest. I funded this show.
Yeah, Caroline Moss did. Gee, thanks.
um,
I
and
just
a
bought
couple of
it.
other producers, but not Ben Stiller. And Tessa Albertson, who, if you watched Younger,
Mm-hmm.
she played Sutton Foster's daughter on Younger.
Mm.
She's amazing. And she replaced Chiara Aurelia, who did Cruel Summer, that first season of Cruel Summer, and she did Fear Street. She's kind of like a Sadie Sink
Oh.
adjacent teen and left. She's not a teen. She's 22. To me, she's 8. Like based on how old I am. She actually left Dilaria a week ago because she took over Sadie Sink's role in John Proctor's The Villain.
I was going to say, this is giving John Proctor as The Villain, which is also off-Broadway and is soaring.
It is soaring. It's a really, really good show. I saw it in April when it was in previews. I'm actually going back tonight to see Kiara in it. And I'm very excited, but
it just got optioned, I think.
It did get optioned. Mm-hmm. And Sadie Sink's producing. So that's kind of like a name producer thing, is my assumption. I don't think Sadie Sink is buying, but I could be totally wrong. But like, I think that's what makes it different in film and TV, which I don't know as much about.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So tell us what Dilaria is about.
So Dilaria is also similarly a show written by a woman, really, really featuring the relationship between two women with a side of Chris Briney. But it is about a narcissistic, controlling, manipulative 23-year-old girl in the West Village. The entire show takes place in her bedroom, and it is about what happens when she, Dilaria, played by Ella Stiller, finds out that a friend from college has died, and the only thing she's seeing on Instagram are tributes to this dead person. And she grapples with, what do you have to do to get that kind of attention? And she decides what to do to get that kind of attention. And the show is very vulgar. When I first read the script, I was like, I'm too old I felt like what my mom, I think, felt like when she watched the first episode of Girls, like 13 years ago, which, like, is this what your life is really like? You know what I mean? But and I realized when I was reading it, I was like, well, this isn't really, it is for me in that, like, theater can be for anyone and art can be for anyone, but like, they're talking in a voice that is not mine, But I always say, if we took out all the fucks and the cums and the cunts, we'd be left with like a 15-minute show. It's very heavy on the fucks. It's funny. And I think one of the best things that I have seen over the last 8 weeks, and especially since we opened in the middle of June, is the last component to mounting a production is, and this isn't just something that I've learned in this experience, like, this is what theater is all about, is like the missing piece that you can never factor in is the audience and the audience reaction. And that's what makes theater so exciting, is that every night it's kind of a different show. And once we found our audience, and the audience is filled with 20 somethings who like laugh and gasp and cheer and clap and, and they get it. Whether they like it or not, they get it. That has been really, really exciting to watch. So I went to a few of the performances in the beginning, and then I didn't go for like a week and a half. And now I'm going back again this week to see, like, another show with some people, this show with other people who haven't seen it yet. And every time I go, I'm like, oh, that was my favorite performance. Oh, that was my favorite performance. So it's like a living, breathing thing. But yeah, Dilaria is like very caustic, very acerbic. It's a little polarizing, but like in a good way. I think like it'll leave you feeling kind of like some way, which is what good art should do. And right. Yeah. And it's a small theater, like it's intimate. Chris just did an interview with Playbill where he was like, if people are making comments in the audience, I can hear them.
Oh, wow.
Like he could reach out and touch the front row if he wanted to. I'm sure the front row would like him to. And they all three have said they have to really try hard not to make eye contact with anyone in the audience. Like that's how close it is. Oh. Yeah. It's small. It's really great. And it's 90 minutes with no intermission, which is my favorite kind of theater.
I was reading about how I was wondering if the vulgarity was like intentionally like hyperbolic or meant to inspire a reaction, but it's been praised for being accurate to current speech. Like, I don't hang out with a lot of Gen Zs, but like, is it meant to be like an extreme, or do you think that's how people like talk?
I think that it is both. I think it's meant to be an extreme, but I also think because the whole entire play takes place in her bedroom, it takes place either a scene between her and her best friend, Georgia, played by Tessa, or her and her fuck buddy, Noah, which is Noah, but pronounced Noah, played by.
That's so annoying.
I know, but I know.
It's amazingly like annoying. Yeah.
Amazingly annoying. It's either there's never a scene where the three of them are on stage together. It's either, Ella and Tessa, or Ella and Chris, or Tessa and Chris. The entire play is really intimate. These people aren't ever in public. And so I think what the dialogue really says is like, what do people sound like when they're not really performing for the world? You know, how to it's like, oh, girls don't speak like this. And it's like, maybe they don't, but I would also venture to guess that the way that you talk in your room alone with your best friend is different than how you present in your office or on the street or at a family dinner. And I think that's what this play really gets to the heart of. And I think what our playwright, Julia Randall, did really, really well is like, yes, the dialogue is this way, but in the context of where they are and who they're talking to, and what they're talking about, it actually makes a ton of sense.
Well, and the disconnect between like, the incredibly unfiltered way you talk to your bestie in your bedroom versus a broader theme of performing online for engagement in a way that is disconnected from that person.
Yeah. And then there's that. Right. And then there's the whole online element.
I'm interested in that like theme in a play of like, the attention economy, if you will.
Yeah. And I mean, that is really kind of like the second character. Hold on. I'm just turning off my AC.
You guys, it's time for the big boy bed, and I'm looking no further than Helix. As for adults, though, some bests have sent in their wearable device, their Apple Watch or Oura Ring or whatever, stats to show how good their night's sleep is on Helix. And I don't have sleep data because mine would be abysmal, but I'm happy to see yours is solving so many issues, whether it's night sweats or back pain or motion transfer. Helix, the mattresses are so comfortable, so high quality. They're so thick. It's a combination of springs and foam. It's not your average internet mattress company in that it's not just like a flimsy piece of foam or a thing you should be worried about ordering online, like it's going to be super high risk. I get that ordering something you sleep on from the internet feels odd, but not only is it an incredible company that's in the business of making mattresses, and I promise you, I have never talked to a Beth that's been disappointed, but if you want that sort of guarantee, they have a 100-night risk-free trial. Like, sleep on it for 100 nights, and if for any reason you're unhappy with your mattress, you can return it for a full refund within 100 nights after the first 30 days. Because it takes 30 days to break it in, you know. Last time I exposed Claire, who ate the muffins, that she just ordered a Helix, she reported back only positive things. I don't know if she's made it through the 100 days yet, but so far so good, keeping the mattress. We have 3 in our house that we've had for years that our guests love, that we love. Sometimes I'll round robin it just for kicks, taking naps on different mattresses. We have the Dusk Lux, the Sunset Lux. We have one with a cool topper for when I'm sleeping hot. You go on helixsleep.com and take their sleep quiz. It asks you, like, are you a stomach, back, side sleeper? Do you tend to run hot? Do you need big and tall? They ask all sorts of customized questions to get you as close as possible to understanding your needs, even if you can't sit on it in person. And that's just all that's standing between you and improved sleep. It's such an upgrade. And if you go to helixsleep.com/bethereinfive through July 31st, it's 27% off site-wide, exclusive for listeners of Be There in 5. Because I think now on the website it says 25, but 27% off site-wide for listeners of Be There in 5. Then August 1st through 14th, it's 20% off site-wide. So go to helixsleep.com/bethereinfive to get your offer. That's helixsleep.com/bethereinfive. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/bethereinfive. No matter how hot your summer gets, my God, it is insufferable out. Liquid IV can help you stay hydrated for the adventures ahead. I'm sitting here hydrating for the upcoming Backstreet Boys concert, and I will be doing so on a plane. I can't be in the heat or on a plane without properly hydrating because I'm not going to drink a lot of water, and I like my liquids I am drinking to be working overtime. And the best part about Liquid IV is just one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by LAV, Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration, with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, which is also great, for long runs outside or long nights inside. And the summer heat means it's a perfect time to try their new Arctic raspberry flavor. Plus, Liquid IV's sugar-free solutions powered by LAV Hydroscience for smart hydration. And we're very into the sugar-free at my house. You're not sacrificing anything on taste, but it's just a preference we have ever since they came out with it. And their sugar-free options are flavors like white peach or lemon lime, rainbow sherbet. And their best-selling hydration multipliers are online as well. And their new Arctic raspberry flavor is absolutely outstanding. And they have really fun ones, too, that are great for summer, like popsicle firecracker, like cotton candy. So whether you're staying hydrated in the heat, fueling up for summer sports, needing it for next day recovery, look no further than Liquid IV. And this is a great deal. And I know so many of you are like such devoted drinkers of Liquid IV, as are many people in the world, because it's such a good product. And we have a code for you. So if you want to squeeze the most out of your summer with Liquid IV, tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code BeThereIn5 at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code bethereinfive at liquidiv.com.
I think the secondary character in this whole show is what you don't see, which is what's happening on the screen that illuminates Dilaria's face for like a good third of the show. There are parts of the show where her and Tessa, are just scrolling, and the brilliance of the production is not in silence, but what you see is the hand movement, and their faces are lit up. And you I thought there was one scene that we ended up cutting. That's at one point. And by we, I mean, it got cut. I didn't have anything to do with it getting cut. Where Ella is just laying on the bed and her computer is lighting up her face, and she's watching like a Housewives reunion. And she's also on her phone, and then that's lighting up her face. And it sort of just made me feel uncomfortable in a way that I was like, if there was a camera on me in my own house, like this is what I would look like.
Yeah.
Like you're just kind of sprawled out. Like,
right.
You're like, oh, this looks ridiculous. But yeah, imagine like you're having an out of body experience and you're zooming out and you're watching yourself. Like that's what you look like.
So much of our lives is being an audience ourselves, and to have an audience of you being an audience is an interesting
meta experience for sure.
Meta experience. Yeah. So like, I mean, I know you don't want to spoil it, but like it sounds like, yeah, it really kind of makes you think. And what do you like walk away thinking about or like feeling like based on the themes of the show?
One of the things that I love the most about Dilaria is, and I think what I connected to the most when I read Julia's script is the hey ladies of it all is like, one of the biggest criticisms that my book got 7 years ago, that our book, Michelle and I's book got. Is it Michelle and Mine's book? Michelle and Mine's book?
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't either. And I did major in English adjacent. Or I have a BA and I would never be. And guess what?
BA's in English adjacency.
And guess what, Kate? I'm never going to Google it to find out. I'm just going to be like, no one could ever know for sure. The biggest criticism of our book was that from people who weren't like who weren't like, I think like evolved to understand what they were reading is like, well, none of these characters are very likable. And it's like, that's kind of the point is like these characters are caricatures of kind of the worst parts of ourselves. And when I read Dilaria, I was like, this is so much that like, I actually understand this. Like, this is nothing like Hey Ladies. It's a completely different generation. It's a completely different subject matter. But at the heart of it, it's like, who are we in our bedrooms? Who are we with our best friends? Who are we with our fuck buddies? Who are we when we think no one's looking? And who are we when we think everyone's looking? And I think there are some people who are going to walk away and be like, well, thank God I'm nothing like any of those people. And I think there are some people who are going to walk away and be like, I'm actually kind of like a lot of those people. Or like I saw some of the worst parts of me, portrayed by this character or that character. And of course, yes, it's theater. So it's going to be like over the top.
Right.
But I think there are moments, and what we've heard, especially like once we found our audience, and it's because all the people in our audience, or the majority of our audience, is watching people that they really recognize. Like, just like Hey Ladies found its audience in like, 29-year-olds who were going to a ton of weddings, where they were like shelling out hundreds of dollars for gifts that they would never see or that no one would ever thank them for. It's like, that felt relatable. In this case, it's like, yeah, that's how my best friends and I talk to each other. That's how I feel when someone dies. I am guilty of kind of having that moment of like, I wonder what like this person would Instagram about me when I die. What an insane thought. But I do still wonder, So I think walking away, it's like, if you can get over the fact that like, not everyone in art is meant to be likable. Not everyone in art is meant to be like a mirror to you in that shows how beautiful you are. Right. I think that it's really kind of, thought-provoking in that way. And one of the things that I like about Dilaria so much is how unlikable, to me, at least the girls are. Noah's character is sort of here nor there for me. But this is always this. I'm very consistent with how I feel about this. Like, when people are like, I don't want like, like Stassi Schroeder and like Chris. Oh no, this is a better example. Like Ramona Singer is like insane. Like she's crazy. She says insane shit. She treats the staff at the vacations that they go on like shit. And that is interesting TV. That doesn't mean I
having
agree
people
with
unpack for you is
Yeah,
such
it's
weird
insane.
behavior.
I'm being like, excuse me, I don't. In all sincerity, I mean, I don't want to like be. Can you like unpack my? Can you? And it's like, and then there's people who go online and like, we don't want to see her on TV anymore because she's rude. It's like, what do you want to watch then?
Right.
Like, do you want to just watch the boring housewives being like nice to each other? Like, you have to have a lane for these certain things. I'm not looking at Ramona and being like, that's a normal way to treat people. I'm also not looking at Ramona and being like, maybe that's how I'll start treating people. I'm looking at Ramona and being like, I want to spend 42 minutes watch like with popcorn, being like, what a fucking crazy
observing
person.
her.
Yeah. And so that's kind of how Dilaria sort of is for me. It's like, this is a window into a world of that I might never see because it's not my generation, but it's something that I deeply understand. I think it's relatable. And it also makes me feel a little bit gross. And I really like it for that.
The likability trap of scripted, well, or reality stuff, I guess really anything is interesting. And I always go back to the example of like, because I feel like a universally beloved show and character is Fleabag. And I'm like, think about how uninteresting Fleabag would be if she made all good decisions. If it was, like I feel like she's like a lovable anti-hero type, but she does a lot of really unlikable and awful stuff too. And I think that like the TV and film, especially with the democratization of like streaming and lower budgets and smaller names, has had to have like gotten more complex, interesting female characters that didn't hinge on their likability.
Absolutely.
And Ramona's a great example too, because she like people having that criticism with reality shows is actually insane when you think about it.
So what is this for then?
Yeah.
What is this for then? I mean, I'm torn about Jax Taylor in a way. But I listened to Sexy Unique podcast and they made a good point that was like, well, what do you want to watch? Nia and Danny and Nia's mommy makeover? No, thank you. And I kind of agree. But Jax makes me uncomfortable. We've taken the Jax road to the end. But I could see a world in which they fired Jax like 8 years ago. And this would have never,
That's kind of my thing is I'm like, I wish we would have given Jax the axe way back when and not like kind of indulged him in the past decade, because he's always been a piece of shit and everyone's always known it. And I think that the Valley conversation just has gotten to the point where like, yeah, how dark is too dark? Like how
it's too dark for me. I can't watch it anymore.
Totally. And I think for like millennials our age, like people that love this Bravo universe, like a lot of people being at the age where they have to confront the reality of like the difficult nature of raising young children, of trying to financially navigate it, of your friendships changing, so on and so forth. It's like, I think some of it's such a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
That it's not escapist and it's not enjoyable. But
totally.
Yeah, Nia and also Nia, like I just don't feel like we the people are appreciating that she is like one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen.
And she's still in there being like, my boobs are so saggy, so that's boring.
They really do talk about 2 under 2 too much. So
3 under 3 now, and they're trying to go for 4, and she's pregnant with 4 under 4. The other thing about reality television is like, it can't go on forever because of how self-aware we are now. And also that's a theme of Dilaria in that way. Like what are you doing for Instagram versus what are you doing? Like, I just love the beginnings of Jersey and Beverly Hills and OC and New York, where like they could really like release their inhibitions and feel the rain on their skin because they weren't thinking like, if I went into film today, in my mind, I would be like, I have to watch what I'm saying, because of like Twitter and because of like the fact that this is going to be streaming for fucking ever. Right. I don't want to lose my brand deal with X deal. Not like I'm going to say like some insane racist shit, but anyone who wants to go on reality TV in this capacity definitely has some problematic behavior that they need to like unpack.
And the thing I'd be leading with is how I would be so conscious of making sure I wasn't doing anything that could be misconstrued as problematic.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, they weren't thinking about that at all in 2009. They thought this show was going to be on and you'd watch an episode every week and then it would be over. Like, you're not thinking like this is going to be streaming on Peacock, or like, oh, will I get invited to BravoCon, or like, oh, will like Quaker Oats want to work with me, or like, am I going to lose, X amount of money, or like, should I bring my glam team because like someone on Twitter said my forehead was shiny, and now like there's a shiny, like Bethany's shiny forehead parody account on Instagram kind of thing. Like, what are the bloggers going to say? Like, you know what I mean? In 2009, it like, look at what all of the Housewives of New York are wearing. Like Bethany did all of her confessionals. She said this in like a Filene's basement, like turquoise sweater. Like you just, and now all the reunions are like, there's a color palette that you have to follow. There's
right. This is a sleepover themed reunion.
And then since Scandival, we've hit another era where breaking the fourth wall is actually required in all of the shows. Like now they're all talking about how they're on a show. Now they're all talking about like, hey, I want the camera to like the Scandival plus Denise Richards, Bravo, 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 like to completely now pivoted us towards another realm where it's like, no, now you actually have to acknowledge the cameras are here and that you're on a television show.
Yeah.
And it's a little exhausting. Like I didn't finish New York, like the New Girls, and I'm a little over it.
I've disengaged in a big way. I feel like I'm kind of in a real rut
funk
with media. Like I just don't even know what to consume anymore that genuinely excites me or inspires me. Per our convo about Dilaria, it's like I do like to leave something and it makes me think a little bit. And it does get to a point where you're consuming so much stuff and you don't have a thought in your brain.
Totally. Or like someone's telling you what to think.
Yeah.
Like I would rather people leave Dilaria and be like, I hated it for these reasons that I've interrogated myself about, rather than be like, oh, I just didn't like any of the people. That's not that interesting. Like I don't like any of the people on Real Housewives of New York and I watch it all the time. Go deeper than that. Try to like think more,
You said something earlier about how like this isn't my generation, and because it's a the characters are Gen Z, and there was a review I was reading or some article that said something funny that put it in millennial terms. They're like the protagonist. Oh, the theater critics described the protagonist as the demon spawn of Carrie Bradshaw and Hannah Horvath.
Yeah, that actually is very true.
And I was like, but that's an interesting thing to think about, is like, think of the two characters that were like semi-beloved, semi-hated of our media, that were like the New York City girlies, and those having a Gen Z spawn is like an interesting thought. And what that looks like with this technological acceleration and the engagement economy, and like, what if Carrie was writing, for instant gratification and not for her column on Sunday?
Yeah. And I think when you think about Dilaria is not necessarily the third in line to Carrie and Hannah, who like really encompassed like voice of generation in a way that I don't think Dilaria, the character, is a voice of a generation. I think Dilaria is a product.
Yes.
Of those voices, of those generations, in the way that like Hannah Horvath is a product of Carrie Bradshaw, and we are all kind of products of Hannah Horvath. And I've been rewatching Girls, and that's been really, and honestly, I mean, the same way that people felt about Girls. It's like, oh, this is one dimensional. I'm nothing like them. And it's like, that's the easiest place to go, I think, after consuming something, especially written by a woman, especially starring women, is like, I'm not like other girls. I'm not like those girls. That's not me. Rather than, and now when I watch Girls, I'm like, oh, I'm so much more tender, not just about them, but also about myself.
Totally.
And be like, I can be like that. Or like, I don't feel that way about Sex and the City because that, again, isn't my generation, but Hannah and Marnie and Shosh and Jessa very much are. And I think that there's a tenderness in the rewatch that wasn't present in the first watch, because I was so like, no, that's not me. This is like, no one would ever say that. No one would ever say that. And I think that kind of reaction, and people having that reaction to Dilaria, if they are having that reaction to Dilaria, is, I think, like, okay, revisit this like in 15 years then, because I think that you do see more. I do see a lot of myself in Girls this go round that I didn't
Girls
maybe at the time.
It's important. It's good for the soul.
It's been really lovely. I've been very emotional while watching it. You know what it is? Can I say this? Just a little tangent on Girls. when you graduate from college, you think that like all the milestones are over. And when you start like living and you're making $45,000 a year, and so are all of your friends. Every single one of your friends is all making, everyone's making $45,000 a year. Everyone's broke, you know, no, everyone has a roommate. No one is married. Barely anyone has a boyfriend or girlfriend. No one has kids. And when you go to the bar on a Wednesday and you see all your friends and like that's your thing, you kind of am like, you're kind of like, this is actually the rest of my life. Like I've graduated from college and now this is the rest. And you don't realize that that also has a time limit. And like, eventually you're not like, eventually someone in your group is going to stay making $45,000 a year. And someone in your group is going to start making $500,000 a year. And then that's going to get weird. Someone's going to get married. Someone's going to move. Someone's going to like stop hanging out with you. And like, someone's going to start living alone. Like it's like it's like these silent milestones. And I think at the time watching Girls, that looks so much like my life that it's easy to just sit there and like compare and be like, well, I don't do that. Like, well, that's disgusting. Like, I'm not like that. My job isn't like that. And now fully out of it and never going to return to a place of being 22 and like without a care in the world, barely a fully developed frontal lobe. It's like that is the experience of watching it, is like you're like, oh, this is a period piece.
Yeah, it is.
In a way that I didn't realize it was when I was watching it, because I didn't look at Hannah Horvath's like sweater with deer on it and think that was weird. And now I look at it and I'm like, well, it's 2013. Of course she had a sweater with deer on it.
Totally. Rewatching Girls is interesting because it's almost like when I started watching it, I did like really like it and connect with it. But then the criticism of it became so loud, you couldn't almost watch it without perceiving yourself liking it. And I was listening to Lena Dunham talk about recently how disorienting it was at the time that Girls was labeled as this like wildly problematic show, and the things that were like getting critically acclaimed and revered, it was like Walter White making meth in a lab, and like it was like all these male characters that were like so literal criminals and monsters.
He's just really, he just has a lot going on, and he's so complicated. And Lena Dunham like just wants to write a book, and they're like, what a fucking stupid
Marnie singing Stronger at her ex's
one of the best moments of television in our time.
I've loved Allison Williams doing because she's touring like on a press tour for Meghan, and she's been, and I love when people are game to celebrate and have fun with their previous characters and work in a way that a lot of actors would really shy away from Marnie. But like Allison Williams and Marnie are so hard to disentangle, and I think without Get Out, I don't know if she ever like that was such a smart career move.
Yeah. And the other thing about Marnie too, or about Allison again, is that she has said a number of times, she's like, do you guys think I wasn't in on the joke? Like, of course, like,
which is so Marnie.
Of course. She's like, do you think that I wasn't like laughing about someone who would stand up at their ex-boyfriend's like startup IPO and be like, do it makes us work us harder, faster, stronger. Like, she was like, that was fucking funny. But everyone was like, wow, Allison Williams is a fucking loser.
Didn't she change it to white Kate Moss tonight?
Yeah, I can be your white Kate Moss tonight. Like, right. And then like, just the whole thing is so, she addresses it. And she's like, duh. Mm-hmm. Like I was at, but the thing is that 35-year-olds watching something made by 25-year-olds, you have to turn off that part of your brain that's like, this is stupid. And they don't even know what life is going to be like. It's like, no, this is their world right now. You have to let them feel it out and figure it out. And I think that it's very easy for like older millennials or Gen X or boomers or whatever to walk into Dilaria and be like, I don't get it. And I'm glad that like my friends were never like that. And I think it's like, it requires a little bit more critical thought.
And what I struggle with a bit is when there is such a critical lens on fictional characters that are very privileged. It's like, well, isn't it kind of important to have scripted media about privileged characters that like asks questions and makes you think and feeling weird about them? And like, it was almost a weird thing of in hindsight of like this show doesn't have the right to exist because these are really obnoxious, privileged, self-unaware girls, and it's like, but what do you think Murray Hill is full of? Like,
Yeah.
what like this is what it is when you the brazen like nature
Absolutely.
of moving to the big city, thinking you have it all figured out and thinking it is a permanent chapter of your life, and treating things with such a level of
Yes.
like like
seriousness and direness,
you
and
take yourself so seriously.
it's the same it's the Ramona Singer conundrum for all of this, is that everyone walks around thinking that they want all art to be a mirror that only shows you who the best parts of who you are and all the good sides, and that is just not realistic, and it's not that interesting. Like,
not interesting.
Things should make you mad, and not just because that you think you're superior to those things. They should make you think, they should make you, and I think that Dilaria is thought provoking if you are interested enough to let it be. I think some of the main criticisms of it are that like, oh, it's like for 20 somethings. And like, yeah, it is for them in that like it's about them, but it can be for anybody. But
there are gonna be adults in leadership positions and people that are going to start mattering more and more to society. And yeah, I think Gen Z is such a like millennials are buzzwordy for in all the worst ways, or at least were for a long time when we went from like killing industries to them being chuggy or cringe or whatever. Yeah. Gen Z started out with like this really strong edit, at least kind of in more liberal media because of, how they took down that Trump rally, the BTS army. Like I remember that being an era where it was like Gen Z fandoms are so interesting and they're actually caring about social causes, or like they've gotten a lot of credit for being more understanding about mental health and more generally inclusive and blah, blah, blah. But now we're kind of turning a corner where it's like diet culture didn't die. We're like, we're kind of seeing the different facets of a generation that I think got an oversimplified edit as being kind of the opposite of us. And I think that like examining what it's like to have your real emotions as a human mediated by these platforms where you perform them for your entire existence, whereas we had a time when we didn't do that. To think of the repercussions and like long-term nature of that's like that to me is a think piece in and of itself, because if you spend too much time online and too much time scrolling, you genuinely will realize you yourself don't know your thoughts or feelings about something, and you're just an amalgam of other people's reactions, of other people's takes.
You're just performing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just performing. Everything you do cannot be authentic if you're hyper aware of who's watching you. I think that's probably the hardest part about the jobs that you and I have chosen for ourselves, is that I'm like, yes, I am who I am, but I also sometimes have to interrogate how much of that is informed by like how much of a people pleaser I am. And
the way your take about a pop culture story is now kind of moralized in terms of if you're like a good or bad or problematic person because you feel a certain way. It's a way the internet's changed since I've been podcasting that it's so palpable to me, and like I really affects me in a big way where I'm not sharing an opinion anymore. I'm thinking, well, how does this opinion of this isolated thing change how people feel about me?
Is it fair to say that like the best thing that you can be in terms of like internet currency is #relatable? And the second you stop being relatable, whether that's like having an opinion, like, I mean, I'm sure you get DMs from people who have been messaging you forever and being like, I love this. I love this. I love this. And then you say something and you're like, wow, like I thought I liked you. And
yeah, it's like a betrayal.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, who are you? And I don't feel that often, but sometimes it happens and it really kind of blows me back a little bit.
I'm kind of nostalgic for Cookunity because we started eating their food 2 years ago when I was postpartum, because I said to my husband, I'm not going to want to cook. I want a private chef. We're obviously not in the market for that. How can we get something as close to that as possible on our budget? And enter Cookunity, because Cookunity, it's a delivery service where you get ready-to-eat meals delivered directly to your door from a roster of all-star chefs, including Food Network alums, James Beard Award winners, acclaimed restaurateurs. They balance bold flavors and nutrition in these incredible handcrafted meals. They're freshly prepared, never frozen, delivered to your door. And they're for adventurous eaters with countless global cuisines from 160-plus award-winning chefs. The meals are delivered fully cooked, and they heat in as little as 5 minutes in the oven or microwave. It's like enjoying a high-quality culinary experience for a fraction of restaurant takeout prices. I've tried every single delivery meal service under the sun. Most of them have a healthy, locale specific angle. What I like about this is it's focused on the food being good. And you can go through the app and pick out what you need based on dietary preferences or calories or whatever it is. I just pick it on what sounds good. I love that it's a food delivery service. It's just food that I look forward to eating. And no one's more surprised than me that I have dreams about a microwave dinner dish that's barbecue pulled pork with esquites corn salad, or a pancetta and Swiss cheeseburger, herbed grilled skirt steak with chimichurri, a spicy fried chicken with spicy honey. I love hot honey. Or just a simple grilled chicken kale Caesar from there is killer. Ooh, a carbonara that I have not tried. They have really great Korean food, really great Mexican food. They have, so many different cuisines. And if you want to give it a try, get what you're craving. Try the freshest, best tasting meal delivery made by your favorite celebrity chefs. Go to cookunity.com/bethereinfivefree or enter code bethereinfivefree before checkout for free premium meals for life. That's free premium meals for life. Oh. By using code bethereinfivefree or going to cookunity.com/bethereinfivefree. Terms and conditions apply. Go to cookunity.com for details. I need to sign up for the new email there. Free premium meals for life. That's an exciting offer. Thanks, Cook Unity. Guys, for the home stretch of my Amika partnership through the end of July, Amika is offering you 20% off your first order. If you go to loveamika.com/bethereinfive, but we'll get there. The past 6 months, it's been a real joy working with Amika. I love their products. I got hooked because of their Perk Up Dry Shampoo that's talc-free. It's the #1 full-size dry shampoo. It has thousands of 5-star reviews, even if you don't want to take my word for it. You just spray it in sweeping motions, zhuzh, and you're ready to go. And it takes me from a grease ball to red carpet ready. No joke. It has a cult following, as does their soul food nourishing mask. I see the teens flocking around at Sephora, which I don't say that in a bad way. I say that to be the children of the future. Look at them actually taking care of their hair and skin by not going in tanning beds and actually using salon quality hair products. Personally, I think they're in it for the packaging because it's gorgeous. I use so many of their products. Their Normcore shampoo and conditioner is a nutrient-rich shampoo and conditioner that results in clean, nourished, soft hair. You know when you just need something normal? You don't need a bunch of tricks for your standard day-to-day shampoo and conditioner. Normcore is look no further. But Amika has shampoo and conditioners for all hair types and textures, including 8 wash collections to help you meet your hair goals. So by all means, go on their website and take the hair quiz and figure out what type you have. And I also am a diehard fan of Soul Food hair mask, and it's for hair types 1 through 4C in need of deep conditioning, and it's a vitamin and nutrient-packed hair mask that deeply conditions and softens your strands. Again, they have 11 collections to ensure there are options for all hair types, textures, and styles. They've got every impressive label under the sun, from being B Corp certified to Planet Aware and Clean at Sephora. They donate to incredible causes within the beauty industry, and they use up to 90% post-consumer plastics on our packaging. And honestly, ordering direct from the website for these brands is so important, so you're not getting weird dupes on other websites. And anyways, I just love them, and I'm sad our partnership is closing out. But hopefully you guys have found a new product or product suite that you love as much as I do. And to pick up my Amika favorites, go to loveamika.com/bethereinfive. And for the rest of July, Amika is giving Be There in 5 listeners a one-time use code for 20% off your first order. Yes, that is 20% off from now through July 31st. Just go to my page at loveamika.com/bethereinfive and use code BeThereIn5 at checkout. That's loveamika.com/bethereinfive, code BeThereIn5 to get 20% off your first order. Thanks to Amika for supporting the show. Have you gotten in your rewatch yet to the Panic in Central Park?
So I actually skipped and watched that episode the other day because it's such a bottle episode. So I was like, I'm not really missing anything plot wise. I'm right now
it's lightning in a bottle.
It fucks me up too. But also I had this really interesting experience while watching it. So if you don't know what this episode is, Marnie runs into her season 1 boyfriend, who is her college boyfriend. Charlie. In season 5, Charlie, played by Christopher Abbott. And he looks different and he talks different. And he's a lot different than how she left him. And they have this kind of one romantic, wild, manic day that is so perfect. And you can tell that she's kind of doing a God bless the broken road that led me straight to you thing.
Yes.
And then in the light dress, the red dress,
bare feet on the subway,
bare feet, the water at some point. Is it raining? What happens? Yep. I forgot. And in the light of day, the next day, she comes across some stuff in his room, and it's just it all is oh yeah, you know what? This would have never, we'll always have Paris kind of thing. At the time, I thought it was really romantic. And when I watched it the other day, I was like, my brain will never do that again. That's I know too much
though.
Yeah, exactly.
It is something you'd romanticize when you're closer to that time, because it is kind of it's such a fantasy to have that one glorious
one day you just
day,
run back into your ex and it's
from
it was you. It was you the whole time. I wanted it to be you. And it's more realistic that you'll remember some of the things that you loved about this person. You can still have fun with them. And at the end of the day, it's just not a good fit.
There's that bottle episode, and then there's the one with the rich guy in the
In the apartment
brownstone.
with the ping pong and her boobs are out.
Yeah. Like
Remember
they
the way
did
that people
those
used
really
to talk?
well.
Remember the way people used to talk about Lena Dunham's body? Like, no wonder I was so fucked up.
No, I actually think that the like crux of the girls' hate was from people being horrible about seeing her naked body on TV.
Mhm.
That's where it all started. It wasn't like a commentary on the broader social significance or privilege of the characters. People just were horribly rude about not wanting to see a body that looked like hers on TV, and it was so fucked up.
People also were horribly rude about not wanting to see bodies that looked like their own on television. Again, with the mirror. My body
Oh,
looks more
that's
like,
interesting.
I mean, listen, what would I think about my own body if you put a different head on it and you put it naked on TV? I don't know the answer. You know, what am I
Oh, I
conditioned
know
to?
the answer.
Well, I know the answer, but what am I conditioned to think? You know, what am I
No, you're
conditioned to
so
think?
right.
And
You're
I think
so
that's
right.
really, I think people get uncomfortable. Like this is more thematic than I thought it was going to be in terms of Dilaria, in terms of girls, in terms of Sex and City. People get uncomfortable when they see things that reflect what they feel are the worst parts of themselves. And they only want to see a mirror of relatability that is like, you are good, you are perfect. Everything you've done is correct. Every choice you've made is right.
Mm.
And when they're faced with
Yeah.
somebody that reflects the shittier parts or the parts they're not so comfortable with, they get really pissed.
I even reading about Dilaria, I want to see it when I'm in town. It made me uncomfortable thinking of how I would be required to confront the parts of my personality that have likely changed from having an internet-based career
Totally.
where
It definitely makes me feel that
I
way.
once used to exist and now exist and perform my existence. And over time, it does morph you, whether you want it to or not. Like nobody is just being their true selves on the internet.
I mean, right. I
And
think
it doesn't mean
about
you're
that.
inauthentic. It means you have to be palatable to be
You have to.
successful.
And I think about that in the most meta way possible, especially with Chris. You
Yeah,
know, like you're performing and then also you leave stage and you have to perform and you have to do press and you have to perform. And you can't just be an actor that's like a character. People get mad at him. I mean, this is not from personal experience. I've just read a lot of the because now I'm, running marketing for this show. I'm confronted with the team Conrad of it all day long.
yeah.
And what I'm so surprised at is how much people are disappointed that Chris Briney is not Conrad Fisher. In the way that I think, but again, and I get annoyed about it, but then I'm like, Caroline, if you were 18 and you went and saw a play in a 100-seat theater and Joshua Jackson was like 3 feet from you and he wasn't like pacey after the show when you saw him at the stage door,
Right.
would you have been able to reckon with that at 18? And the answer is probably no. But watching it
No,
as an
it's
adult
true.
is really different, and it makes me feel for these kids.
Well, I thought it was so interesting that. Do you hear that?
No.
No, out of nowhere, my computer just started playing Aaron Burr, sir.
Hamilton.
Because it's double A. It's either Aaron Burr or Aaron's Party Come Get It. You know when you accidentally trigger
Yes.
your iTunes. But Jenny Han, the author of The Summer I Turned Pretty, the day before it premiered, the season 3 premiered last week, she put out like a PSA on her Instagram story that I
We
thought was
saw
so
that.
unusual, but I guess has to be said today of no bullying the characters. These aren't these people in real life, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, is it because people are on Jeremiah for being Trumpy? Is it because there was a non-binary characters last time and they maybe gave the actor a hard time? Like I was like, or people just taking I just thought it was like the weirdest PSA for the author to have to be like, don't bully and harass these fictional characters. And I was like, has it gone that far?
If I get a little bit of it on the Dilaria social accounts,
Yeah.
and I cannot imagine what if they went that far. Jenny Han came to see Dilaria, by the way, which I thought was so
Oh my
nice of
gosh.
her and like really cool because I'm a huge Jenny Han fan.
Same. She's from
But
Richmond, Virginia.
she is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, hometown hero. I can't even imagine. But I mean, I'm also like, my first reaction is like, we never would have done that, but we didn't have the option to do it. You think I wouldn't have been like riding James Vanderbeek on Twitter for being a fucking loser? For Dawson being a loser when I was 16? You know, with great power comes great responsibility. I think they
does.
I think that there is like a real, there are some people who are very in it.
The thing that I think we, the people, should be more concerned about is just like, how many times can you bounce between banging a couple of brothers?
Listen,
just, to me, sounds stressful.
Joey Potter took 6 seasons. You gotta give
That's true.
That's true. The Summer I Turned Pretty only had 3. Joey Potter was will they won't theying for 6 years.
And if you read the books, like I won't spoil it, but you guys aren't gonna love season. I mean, like the story's so whimsical and relatable. The first season of like The Summer You Turned Pretty and having a crush and my desire to summer and a place I return back to, and I had so many feelings reading the first one. But by the time we get to 3 and we have bigger themes of like marriage and stuff, it's like, what the fuck? It kind of goes off the rails because the reality of two-timing a pair of brothers after their mother passed isn't great.
Being pretty isn't all it's cracked up to be.
It really isn't.
You know, the summers of being ugly were a lot easier.
Do you feel strongly about Conrad or Jeremiah either way?
I mean, I don't watch the show.
Okay.
But by power of association, I think I'm going to be Team Conrad forever.
I'm a total Team Connie, but I thematically, I think if you're Team Conrad, it also means you were probably Team Jess, and it also means you were probably Team Edward. There's something, some of us like the more brooding, distant character.
Team Pacey. I mean, Jeremiah is Dawson, right?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Okay.
I didn't know you were such a Dawson's.
Oh, I'm a head.
Freak.
I'm a total Dawson's head. I'm a creek head.
You're a creek head.
I'm a creaker. I'm a freak. I'm for the freak for the creek. I'm a freak for the creek. Are you kidding? Were you not? That's very weird to me that you were
I'm not a creek freak. No.
Have you ever watched?
Yeah, I dabbled when it was on the WB, but I didn't feel like it's like I feel feelings when I hear the Paula Cole's theme song, but like I didn't watch it enough to like remember the show very well. Like I was not obsessed with it.
I think you rewatching Dawson's Creek is very important culturally for
me,
also didn't watch
for
One yourself.
Tree Hill. Is that
I never watched One Tree Hill either. Never seen an episode.
I think at the time I felt very weird about the pipeline of want to be a VJ, Hillary Burton to actor on One Tree Hill.
Yeah. I know. I mean, you're not wrong. Hard to divorce from that, for sure.
It really is.
But I think that The Summer I Turned Pretty is something that every generation should get, you know, whatever your version of that was, whether if it was like, was it like, you know, what's his name? And Brenda, and what was Luke Perry's character on 90210? Dylan McKay. Whatever your will they won't they was. Every generation gets one.
Yeah, you're Rachel Ross.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I did see a bunch of TikToks comparing a scene with Jeremiah and Belly to the We Were on a Break scene, and it's kind of like word for word. Even
it is. My husband and I just had this conversation. It's the exact same conversation, and it's almost interesting that it's reincarnated because Greg and I found ourselves in a conversation about if they were on a break or not, and I'm like, oh my god, it's kind of smart to do this for the next generation because it is a complex dialogue to entertain.
It's
like
in the lexicon now, it's not just a Ross and Rachel thing. It's like, you know, is it cheating if you were on a break? Who can relate?
Totally. Did you have a Summer You Turned Pretty?
Yeah, 2007.
Marc Fisher Ltd is casual luxe redefined, combining elevated essentials with the most coveted trends crafted with quality materials. From July 12th through August 3rd, shop the latest from Marc Fisher Ltd at the Nordstrom Anniversary Sale, in-store and online. It's the perfect time to prep your wardrobe for the season ahead with elevated staples. Boots, booties, loafers, pumps, flats, and more, all with limited time pricing. And that's your opportunity to invest in premium styles, if you'd like, at an exceptional value. I just got their Purina boot. It's a tall, sophisticated silhouette boot, perfect for fall. I'm going to try to bring back tall boots this fall. They have a wide calf option, which has been really nice. And it's over $100 off during the event. And I appreciate their inclusive fit with the wide calf options. And whether you're updating your closet or investing in a few key staples, Marc Fisher Ltd's versatile designs are made to move with you through seasons, through settings, through moments. And the Nordstrom Anniversary Sale is your chance to score premium styles at an exceptional value. Oh, I also got the Mavi. It's a sleek statement boot for your fall wardrobe. It's very polished. It's very sculptural. It's like an ankle bootie with a thicker heel, but like a longer point. You know how like we're doing longer pointy boots now, kind of witchy vibes, which we love. But the Purina boot is the one with the white calf options I'm loving. They also have a Polista loafer if you're into a chunky loafer that is a really great transition shoe. And yeah, head to Nordstrom.com to build your Marc Fisher Footwear wish list now. And shop premium styles at an exceptional value online through August 3rd.
Did you have a summer you turned pretty?
Yeah, 2007.
Oh, yours
19.
was in college.
Yeah.
Mine was 2004, mostly because of Sun In.
I peaked late, mostly because of disordered eating. It was a really weird summer for me. It was also the summer I stopped drinking officially. Like after that summer was when I stopped drinking. That was a weird summer. I got hot, and then it was a crazy 8 weeks. And it
was a crazy
8 weeks. And I was like, I just became someone that I do not recognize. Like I can remember every single moment, weirdly, because I was blacked out a lot of it. I can remember every single conscious moment of that summer, like so much of that summer. And I never had a summer like that again. And I never will. It was so weird. And I hated it while it was happening. But it was like, when people, I don't know if you want to keep this, because I don't know if like disordered eating is a thing that you want to put on the show or whatever.
I mean, it's a thing a lot of us have dealt with. And I feel like that it's like I'm trying to ask myself a lot of questions about trigger warning culture, because if it's your story, it's like, well, if it's triggering to hear about, it's triggering to live.
And I'm very like aware of it now. I think what I experienced was like, I started doing really unhealthy things to lose a lot of weight in a very short amount of time. And the repercussion of that, not only for my health, which was negative, was this weirdly publicly positive reception. And then I think like in 2007 is like very common. Like Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, like all of that, like everyone was just like bone thin. And then all of a sudden, and then I worked at this summer camp where I had never known any of the people I was working with. So everyone just thought like
that was you.
Yeah. And I walked in and I was like the queen bee. And like every guy wanted to hook up with me or date me. Like I literally, and I say this because it was like an 8-week period of my life that like just dropped in like an anvil and then like went through the center to the core of the earth and was never seen again. And like, it didn't happen when I went back to college. It didn't happen before I left. Like that summer was like literally the summer I turned pretty. And I think when I think about that title, I think one of the reasons I never really engaged with it, because I think it's kind of triggering for me to think about that summer.
Really?
Because it was a dangerous summer for me.
So you didn't like it while it was happening. You knew it wasn't. Oh, okay.
I knew it wasn't tenable, but I loved it. I mean, it was like, it was the closest thing I could describe from truly in a very short amount of like waking up in someone else's life. And just getting to live it for a finite amount of time, and then it gets taken away from you. And that part had nothing to do with my weight. It was just the hierarchy of like where I fell in that job, like all these different things aligned. And like, I was just, but it was weird. It was strange. I wish I could put pen to paper about that summer, because it was definitely not like, oh, the summer I turned pretty and then this started me on a different course of life that like everything leads. Nothing in my life has ever looked like that 8-week period when I was 19 years old. It was so strange. So I think I don't, but I think at the time I was engaging in all of this behavior that I was like, I don't think this is good for me. Like blacking out all the time, like probably getting in cars with people who had been drinking, like things that like, again, as an adult, I am like horrified by. But when you're 19, you're like, I know this is wrong. But then the bigger part of you is like, but look, I'm so cool now. I'm also invincible because I'm 19 years old. All of those things like cooked together created that summer for me. So that was the summer I turned pretty.
I don't know if you feel the same. I engaged in a lot of future nostalgia in terms of these are the times, these are the days, like YOLO. Like I listen to a lot of Kenny Chesney. I go back. I'm like, this is watching the summer fade to fall, wishing time would stop right in its tracks. Like this is OAR, Friends.
And in a million years, in a million tears, we'll come find our original.
In a million tears, I'll come find my original crew.
Yeah, it's important.
Like I feel like my friend group, we had this consciousness of like being inside the days that made us participate in at-risk behavior more exponentially. And per the Dilaria of it all, I think that I too had a very small window of time where I really understand how attention can turn you into a monster. And I felt
Yes.
like this incredibly exaggerated version of myself making these decisions I would never normally make. But
Yes.
the addictive nature of attention, it's really intoxicating in its own way. And I never experienced it again either. But when going from not having it to feeling seen in a big way, but not for who you are, but for who you temporarily are presenting as, I think it was as problematic as it was informative for me. Like, I think I needed to have that experience to like not forever be chasing it.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think I feel that way too. I think the other thing that was so weird that summer, especially for me, was because even at that point, while I was essentially starving myself, and also when you're 19, it's very easy to just starve. Like, it took me like 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was on a grapefruit diet in '07, dark.
Yeah, I was doing like 3 tortilla chips a day, and it was bad,
Yeah.
and it was really messed up, and I'm really glad that I sought help. But in the back of my mind, you're like, what I would tell anybody if I could go back and talk to my younger self in like May of that year before the summer started, I would have been like, being thinner is not going to make your life any better. Like, no one's going to love you more.
Yeah.
You're still just going to be you. Like, it's not going to get you what you need. And then all of a sudden, it got me everything I thought I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, it led to this 8-week period where I was like, wait, everyone thinks I'm hot. Everyone thinks I'm cool. Everyone thinks I'm popular. Like, it fucked me up for a long time. And in a way, I'm glad it didn't last beyond that summer. But like, you're like hyper aware that these are the days.
The hardest part about
Yeah.
it's not the cultural messages about weight aside, it's like the most informative part is the way people socially respond to you by ambiguously telling you how great you look, and you know exactly why you look different and what it took to get there.
Yeah. And it was worth it because of that. And that's what you were yearning for. I was yearning for some loser 20-year-old guy to be like, I would fuck you.
And part of me wonders, was it the weight loss, or that I had internalized the messaging about weight loss so intensely that I was acting disproportionately confident?
Both.
Like, I guess it's a little bit of both, but I just like felt like hot shit because that's what I thought was hot shit. And I sometimes wonder, like,
if I just
acting like hot shit.
Isn't that Amy Schumer movie?
I don't know.
If there was I
no,
feel
yes.
pretty. And she like wakes up and she thinks she's really thin, but she's just like regular. And so she walks around.
People were mad because the messaging is like, so you were a medium weight 5'6" blonde, and we're supposed to think you're atrocious, and that you have to do a personality overhaul to think you're hot.
The movie definitely didn't hit. But it wasn't that the point, was that she woke up and she saw herself as thin and beautiful. And so she walked through the world like she was thin and beautiful. And then so everyone in her normal body was like, you're so beautiful and confident. Like,
oh, you're right. I appreciate you sharing about the summer you turned pretty, the summer things went shitty, because I think that it's hard to, like, you do have to kind of acknowledge the double-edged sword. And for a long time, I felt like slightly embarrassed to say like it was like the best of times, because it was so fucking fun, but for all the wrong reasons. And I think that like I could have like died making some of those choices.
Totally. I can't believe I knew people who lived like that all of the time. Like, that wasn't my high school experience. It wasn't my college experience. It was this 8-week blip
at camp,
at a summer camp where I was a counselor. Yeah. And I had a lot of power, and I lived by myself. Like, I was in my college town, so I was nowhere near my parents. I was living like an adult. I stayed in my college town all summer.
Where'd you go to college? Cornell?
Please, thank you, but no, UMass Amherst, which sometimes I call Amherst. No, I went to UMass Amherst. I lived in Amherst.
Is UMass Amherst not the same as Amherst?
No, Amherst is like a Ivy League college, and UMass Amherst is the University of Massachusetts flagship state school, and they're next to each other. They are not the same.
I thought they were the same.
I'm thrilled to be a UMass alum, but no, it's not Amherst. Amherst is like a prestigious literary college.
Is UMass Amherst where Mara Murray went missing from?
Yes.
Interesting.
I'm
What a case.
obsessed with the Maura Murray case.
I'm obsessed with people thinking that she is current governor Maura what's her face in Massachusetts.
I've
Look
never
up
heard
the
that
current
theory.
governor of Massachusetts named Maura, and they look so similar.
Wait, that's really funny. I love that there were people who are like, no, she's in Canada. She had a baby. Let's see, Maura governor. I love the Maura Murray case. I was like,
shook.
Oh my God, you're right.
They have the same dimples, and their name is Maura. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
I know. It's like an interesting rabbit hole to go down. Her sister has a really good TikTok.
Maura Murray's sister?
Yeah, about finding Maura. And they apparently just got new leads and like reopened the case and stuff.
I mean,
what do you think happened to her?
Well, I always think that the reason why there are so many big criminal mysteries in small towns is because police are stupid and can't do their jobs correctly. And so much of it is like inadmissible stuff because like the chain of custody and of evidence like got fucked up along the way.
She has like footprints that go 2 feet and then they stop, and then the truck driver called to report it. And I'm like, he probably just took her.
And they're like, okay, the funniest thing about the Maura Murray case that I always think is so funny is that they're like, the craziest thing is that she emailed her teacher and said, I'm not going to class today because I had a death in the family, but no one in the family died. I'm like, bitch, I would be like, I have the bubonic plague. I can't be in class today. Everyone in my family just died. Sorry, I'm not coming to class. Like, that's the least surprising thing I've ever. They're like, why would she do that? Because she was 19 and was hungover? Please. They're like, that's crazy. I'm like, it's not crazy. The craziest thing about the Maura Murray story is the fact that she seemed manic. She was going up to New Hampshire to a place that she had gone with her father. What I think happened to her is I think that her car stalled out and she got picked up by, dudes who then killed her. Yeah. I think that the Loon Mountain 3, which is the theory that like there was a like kind of a off the beaten path ski resort, not even a resort, just a ski lodge, run by like a bunch of sort of like degenerate teen boys. They invited her to like party with them, and then something happened and they like killed her.
She picked up her birth control, had like a soda bottle, like
took $200 out of the ATM.
I think, we don't always consider like manic episodes are very real.
Manic episodes are very real, but also again with the performance of it, this is not that interesting had she not disappeared. If someone was like, we cobbled together like 48 hours of these 2 days at your school, they'd be like, she went to the dining hall like 7 times. She did grab and go lunch, and she went through the line 4 times, and then she brought back 3 different sandwiches, put them in her mini fridge. And it's like, but she had but that's weird because she had an unlimited meal plan. She didn't need to hoard the food. Who was she bringing those sandwiches to? And I can't explain why I wanted all the grab and go sandwiches. They were good. I didn't have, and they would be like, well, it's because her tennis coach and she were sleeping together. And no, she was hungry. If you had been like, and then we found this like security camera of you going to the bank and you like kind of like tripped on your way in. It's like, yeah, anything can look weird. I think the cops just didn't do their job correctly, which, as is the case in a lot of these like mysterious rural cases.
I think you always hope it's like more often than not, an accident in life, like your car stalls or something happens, is intersects with what is usually the case, which is most people are good natured and helpful. But to think that would intersect with like the one truck driver driving by who would like assault and murder you is tough.
I don't think the truck driver did it. I think it was. No, I don't. I think it was. I think she a car with like 3 kids her age, like 3 20-year-olds. We're like, hey, what's going on? Oh, my car broke down. Oh, we'll take you to our house. We have a phone. You're not going to get service over here. And instead they like, maybe did something because they found like a burned down cabin, and there were like, again, like they didn't do enough evidence. And also the dog went, and they were like, she's in the woods, but the dogs were like, her scent clearly stops here.
Like
where
somebody picked her up.
Yeah, somebody picked her up. But also there's that witness who was like, when I drove by, the cops SUV was there, like SUV number 1.
Right.
It was like a lot of things that went wrong. And I think that
we do have too much trust in local authorities.
I don't have any, but I think as a nation, we do for sure.
Like true crime. Yeah. Think of how drunk on power you were as a camp counselor. Imagine being a cop.
Great.
What was your power at camp?
I was the theater director. And I was the theater director. But they actually, it was an 8-week camp, and every 2 weeks they would give us new jobs. You'd have a new co-counselor, you'd have a new job. They wanted to like keep it fun for us too. So like I think I was the camp director for I was the theater director for the last month. The first month I had 3rd and 4th grade girls, and then the first 2 weeks I had 3rd and 4th grade girls, and the second 2 weeks I had the oldest girls, like the 6th grade girls.
Do counselors hook up at camp?
Yes, I was doing that all the time.
Like where though? Because as a
Like
camper, I always heard about it, but I never knew. I was never a counselor.
We hooked up in the boathouse. We hooked up behind the cabins on the nights that we did. It was a day camp. So we only did 2 sleepovers per session. We would hook up during that. We'd hook up we'd kind of do the Duggar finger fucking, where you would just kind of just touch. The Duggars before they get married, like all they could do is hold hands, and they're constantly like caressing each other's fingers.
Oh, I thought that was like a euphemism for heavy petting. You mean literally fingers only?
Literally fingers only. Like
that's hot.
Like yeah, and when you're 19, it is hot.
Erotic hand-holding.
Yeah, and we would meet up at the art shed. I mean, we weren't fucking, but we really heavy making out for 8 weeks. And it's like every fun thing I ever did in my youth is inside those 8 weeks. I was boring before, and I continue to be boring. And every cuckoo bananas, we're going out and I don't know, I got a handle of Smirnoff kind of shit that I did was inside those 8 weeks. Hooking up with everyone, being a huge
I need you to write a play about this.
Maybe I should. The summer I turned pretty. The summer that was shitty. The summer I was slutty.
The summer was a real pity.
The summer was a pity.
There's endless material there about what it took to get to that point where you felt that hot, the power you got while you were there, the fact that the power wasn't transferable to any other scenario but felt infinite in the moment.
And all of these people didn't know me in college, and then they also didn't go to UMass. A lot of these kids that I was interacting with that summer were home from their colleges. They lived in Western Massachusetts. So that's where they grew up. So a lot of them
character.
I was the main character. I was a lot of these kids went to school in the area. I was from New York, baby. I was a New Yorker. I was from New York, and I was here in the big country. And then at the end of the summer, they all would leave. And I remember some spring into summer, I'm jumping off. I remember summer into fall, my college boyfriend, my summer boyfriend, who literally for 8 weeks moved into my apartment. His parents lived on the other end of town, came and I brought him, he met my family. Everything was deranged. I should write a play about this. But then he went back to Ithaca, and I honestly never really saw him again. He actually texted me. This is a funny story. I don't know if we should include this. Can I tell it to you, and then you can decide?
Please, then we'll decide.
Okay. So we were at the Salvation Army. This is July 2007. We were at the Salvation Army getting costumes, stuff for the kids for the show. And I had a little bit of a pregnancy scare. And I was going to go get a pregnancy test. And after the Salvation Army of it all. And I was just so you know, I don't want to have a baby. A conversation that I was
the conversation at the Salvation Army.
Yeah, I'm at Salvation Army over the t-shirts. It was 99-cent t-shirt day. And I was just, I would not like a baby. And he was I think it could be fun. And I was I don't.
think it could be fun.
I said, I don't. And I'm going to tell you a few reasons why. But it sounds, I was well, you're going back to Ithaca in the fall. What are you going to do?
Getting way too into logistics.
Be a father from Ithaca?
From Ithaca? Can you imagine?
So it turns out and we had this very long, unproductive conversation that resulted in me taking a pregnancy test, and it was negative, and thank God. And I took 4 more, and they were negative, and that was kind of the end of it. And then
what a very real moment though, to be that age and facing that reality, and paired with the guy really not understanding the topic at hand.
Truly though, everything, when I say everything happened within those 8 weeks, everything got pregnancy scares.
Your life flashed before your eyes.
The guy who got me pregnant saying, let's keep it for fun. I think it would be a fun thing to do. So we had that very long conversation, and then I wasn't pregnant, and it wasn't a real thing. And we never really talked we maybe talked a little bit after that summer, but I don't think we ever really kind of talked again. He texted me out of nowhere about a year ago, maybe last July.
Whoa. And almost 20 years later.
Almost 20 years later. And he goes, He goes, would our kid be going into senior year of high school, or would we be like at his graduation?
So he thinks about, okay, but how interesting is it for him to be thinking about that? And this is why this summer is so important. What, like, to examine the sliding doors of that, of the most fleeting era of your life resulting in the most permanent thing imaginable is a real mind fuck.
It is. You could keep this in. Actually, it's not as bad when I say it out loud. It just reminds me.
It's like, but to think of how young you were confronting that reality is like pretty crazy.
And also having sort of an out of body experience while doing it, because I was like, this isn't my life. I have to go take a pregnancy
I'm not a sex
test.
person.
I'm sex negative. I'm still pretty sex negative to this day. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm pregnant. And the fact that, like, you know, 17 years later, he's like, do you think we would have sent him to kindergarten early, resulting in a high school graduation this year, or do you think it would be next year? And I was like, I think any child of yours would not have gone to kindergarten early.
He'd be in juvie because his father was in Ithaca.
He's in Ithaca. I know. And we talked about it for like a couple hours, and I was like, what are you up to? And he's like, I'm in an open marriage. And I was like, no, that does check. That's
no way.
Yeah, he's
I don't know anybody in real life who's in one of those.
Oh, I know so many people moved to New York. They're all in open marriages.
Wow.
But he's also not in New York. He's elsewhere. But like, he's like, yeah, I'm in an open marriage. And I was like, all right, well, it's been fun talking to you. I loved this. Like, I can't hear Bubbly by Colby Callier without thinking of him.
Will you count me in?
Will you count me in?
Why did she say that?
I don't know. I think it's just kind of one of those like,
I hate that song. That song makes me feel funny.
Now. It starts in your toes, then wherever it goes. And like that reminds me of him, and the commercial for the Motorola jukebox phone that played incessantly during the season premiere of Gossip Girl reminds me of him. And those are the two things.
What was the theme song to that commercial? Because you know how like Chips Ahoy had the
Let me check. I'm gonna actually look it up. I'm gonna look it up because that's important to me.
There was a commercial I liked so much. I downloaded it on LimeWire to listen to it recreationally. It was the Folgers. The best part of waking up, it's that doo-wop and all I do.
Rockapella.
Yeah, Rockapella.
I saw them in concert during other less pretty summers. I saw Rockapella in concert. Yeah, it's a doo-wop and all I do.
Coming through.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in. My favorite was
I didn't even
people
connect
all
that
over
with
the
Rockapella.
world.
Join hands. Oh yeah.
Start a love train. Love train.
Was that a Gap commercial?
It was the Gap rainbow sweater era, Christmas holiday. I think it was 2003 or 2001 or maybe 2000 itself. Let's see.
Coming off of the swing dance turn of the millennium Gap campaign.
I know.
Khaki campaign.
Khaki.
I love that commercial makes you think of him. Colby Callier and a Motorola commercial.
I mean, listen, like, I think it was
the song Bulletproof by LaRue makes me think of my husband, which is weird.
Oh, oh, really?
This time, babe. That song
Summer
was
2012.
Yeah.
Is that when you met him? I can tell you. That reminds me with one of the many mass shootings in America. I believe it was Aurora, Colorado. That song reminds me of that.
Really? Yeah, I guess it was.
Because while it was around that time, and I was consuming so much of that news story, and it was always like, this time, baby, I'll be.
I hate that. What a weird parallel.
Well, they stopped playing it for a little bit.
Oh,
there were like some like DJs or radio stations that were like not putting it in there.
Between this and 9/11, you're very tuned into how radio stations respond to national tragedies.
Honestly, I am, and I wasn't listening to enough radio during COVID, but I'm sure something was going.
I'm sure it was.
God, wow, we really went
commercial.
on. Like, oh, I did. It was a Foreigner song. It was a Foreigner song, and I think that they had more songs because I don't remember this really, but it was just like that phone reminded me. It was the LG. No, it was Samsung Juke. It wasn't Motorola. Sorry.
I'm picturing the LG chocolate commercial that just made me hungry.
I had an LG chocolate and I loved it. Okay, wait. Yeah, Verizon commercial. Kind of wish I had an LG chocolate again. What was your favorite phone? Mine was the green LG chocolate, the mint.
I was one of my first friends with a QWERTY keyboard.
Oh, like you had
like the brick. It was a like Verizon's knockoff sidekick that like because you had to have T-Mobile to have a sidekick.
Jealous.
Yeah, I was a texting machine in ways at the time you were cut off at 160 characters in ways that like a person like me should never be given that kind of character limit.
Yeah. You know, were you really good at were you also really good at like what's the
T9 word.
T9 word. Were you good at that?
Yeah,
I was good at that.
So fast.
Yeah.
I'm sending you a picture of me I found in 2007, but regardless, I'm gonna have to look up this commercial later. It's just a good color splash classic.
I love that you can like, oh my God, I love a color splash. That's like so important. Like the apple is green, everything else is black and white. And
also, I'm allergic to apples. Speaking of at-risk behavior, that was not the summer I turned pretty.
You have multiple litered bottles in your purse.
I'm in Europe.
Oh yeah, you were in Europe. Oh, I mean, Lord. And then 2009 was the fashions night out of it all, and that's where you and I really connected. We first connected.
That was a conversation I never saw coming. And I'll never be the same. Talking about fashions night out, it's just so specific, and that was a time I felt invincible, and like I was really a part of influential culture, not realizing I was being pandered to something that was inherently pretty touristy to people that like lived there though.
That was like essentially like this is so not for you that we're gonna give you one night only.
You can go to Ann Taylor Loft and see Stacey London from afar.
You can go to Banana Republic and get like a glass of like Prosecco while like some fucking band
Derek
plays.
Glassberg nearby.
Rachel Zoe's at the Bergdorfs.
Yeah. And Rachel Zoe being back on Bravo, I am excited for.
That is excited.
I have to know what happened to her with her and Roger.
I do too. That's a thing Nora really also is going to be very invested in.
Oh, I didn't know that she was interested in that.
I'm probably Rachel Zoe is like on the other side of the spectrum for me. I wasn't really into the fashion-y shows. Do you have a favorite True Life?
Yeah, the one where the guy got calf implants.
Oh, that's so good. The classic form. Classic.
What's yours?
Mine is True Life. I am addicted to shopping, and it was two girls, which is very also true to me. I bought it, so I have it in my iTunes library, but it's a girl who like was at the melting pot with her boyfriend and was like literally like twitching and being like, Forever 21 is going to close soon. I got to go get a wallet. I need a wallet. Give me my money. I need it. She's like, I got boots. Yeah, she's like, I got boots. I got a belt. Everything was $9. And I was just like, oh my God, this is me. And I thought she was so cool. And she wore wigs. She was this white girl from Ohio. She wore wigs because she thought it was, I don't know. I'll send you the episode. It's really good. But I always think about that.
I always think about how everyone in French class for a cultural experience went on a field trip to the melting pot.
Is that true? I took Spanish.
Yeah, because it was fondue.
Oh yeah, I guess in Spanish we just got ourselves wrapped up in the warm beans. That was it.
Like if sometime there's another funny snorkel to be had of shows you've bought on iTunes, because it's always the shows that are really obscure and specific that you have to buy because you can't find them anywhere. And I have so many truly humiliating choices.
Instead of a snorkel, can we just go through it right now?
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about it, but I think we do owe the world a list. And I can show you.
I have way too many episodes of Smash, which I'm sure you watched too.
I love that for you. Okay, I have Bethany Ever After because for a while you
me too. I have a full season, baby. Let's go in alpha order.
Okay, I have The Bachelor. I have 11 episodes of The Bachelor.
I have Ben and Lauren Happily Ever After. Whoa. Ben Higgins and Lauren What's Her Face.
And Lauren What's Her Face. Exactly.
Do you have Bethany getting married? Question mark.
No, I only got Bethany Ever After.
Oh, Body by Bethany. Her workout classes.
All the Bethany's shows are streaming on Peacock, by the way. If anyone needs
good to know.
Yeah. Do you have a show called Cheerleader Nation by chance?
I don't. I have Courtney Loves Dallas and Chasing Maria Menounos.
Chasing Maria Menounos. How many episodes of Chasing Maria Menounos are there?
9.
Holy shit. And you have the whole thing?
Whole thing, baby. I was obsessed with her and Juliana Rancic types because I wanted to be in like entertainment hosting, which I kind of am now.
Yes, you totally are. You totally are. I have an episode of Seinfeld. I have an episode of what's this? Real Housewives of New Jersey. I have an episode of Secret Life of the American Teenager. Another pregnant teen. I guess I needed some relatable content.
That show is so important.
It's really important. One episode of Pretty Little Liars. I wonder if there was a time where it was like you could get episodes for free, because I have a lot of like pilots of things.
Same. Like I have one episode of Harry Loves Lisa. Did they have their own?
They did. Harry Loves Lisa. Harry Loves Lisa. God, Harry Loves Lisa.
I have a lot of like Flipping Out, Interior Therapy with Jeff Lewis, Juliana,
you have
and
a
Bill.
lot.
It's like I must have wanted to watch one episode on a plane. I loved the Joan and Melissa Rivers reality show.
Oh yeah,
Joan knows best.
I watched that in real time. I didn't buy it though, but maybe it's time.
Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth.
Kelly Catrone's show.
Hell on Earth. I had an episode of House.
Ooh. Like House MD?
Yep. One episode.
LA Clippers Dance Squad.
Okay.
Specific. That was on E. I like dancers.
Yeah, you do like dancers. You would like Cheerleader Nation then. Cheerleader Nation is really good. I wonder if they still have
it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's 8 episodes. It never came back, and I'm obsessed with it. What else?
Samantha Brown, Passport to Europe.
Who the fuck is
Samantha,
that?
Samantha
is she a medium?
Brown, the Travel Channel.
Oh,
the Bourdain of millennial women.
Wow, I don't know anything about her.
Pitch Slapped, an acapella. What the hell is Pitch Slapped?
I want to watch it.
It's an acapella reality show.
Well, did you ever watch Sing It On?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I love Sing
Pregnant
It On.
in Heels, Rosie Pope.
Oh shit!
Remember the maternity concierge with a list?
Oh yeah, Rosie Pope.
Oh my god!
I remember Rosie Pope, and Bethany had her be her maternity concierge on Bethany Ever After.
Yes.
Bethany getting married.
And I love worlds intertwining of shows.
Remember Sean, her wedding planner, who looked like Tony Hale?
Yeah. I always think about her redheaded assistant too, that she made him get his eyebrows waxed in Union Square.
Oh
yeah.
Oh no, Nicholas.
No, Nicholas. Yeah,
Nicholas, who I literally saw one day. He was like my only celebrity spotting in New York was seeing Nick.
That's a star sighting. Did you watch Tone It Up or participate in Tone It Up?
No, I know about Tone It Up, and I remember Katrina and Karina. I never participated, but I think that was kind of a dark period of my life. That was like 2010 era me, where I was like reading Naturally Thin and being like, I'm just gonna smell the food. I was still really kind of in a little bit.
Your diet is your bank account.
Gross.
Naturally Thin is really bad if you revisit it.
It's horrible, and I have revisited it. And what I think is so crazy is that Bethany's entire 2025 TikTok persona is her eating things. And my mom will always be like, she eats so much food. I'm like, she doesn't eat so much food. She shows you a lot of food on the table. You don't actually really see her eating it. And that's her whole thing is smell the food, take a tiny bite of everything on the table, but that's it.
Yeah, she says taste everything, eat nothing. That's so dark that we know these things.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually going to tell you earlier, I think I'm going to go to Jersey to see Mike's this afternoon. And honestly, one person influential in me wanting to get their chicken salad was Bethany Frankel.
She wasn't, but I can tell you from experience as a fully healthy sort of remedied and recovered disordered eater, the Jersey Mike's chicken salad slaps, and it
does. I'm excited.
I love chicken salad. There. Wow. Oh, you're crazy. Do you have a parking spot at home, or are you gonna have to?
I do.
Definitely be driving there. How old is your baby?
Teddy, my child.
Yes,
he turns 2 in 2 weeks.
How crazy is that?
Oh, I'm like, and I'm kind of such a cliche mom, and that I feel very emotional about it. Like when he was a baby, I was like, I don't feel the whole growing up too fast. Like I'm ready for him to be able to like talk and interact with me, but now it's like freaking me out, and I want him to be a little babe. Oh yeah.
Of course he talks. You're his
adorable.
Mother. What does he say?
He just talks mostly about cars and trucks.
Sure, he's in it. What is it with babies and trucks and cars? They all are like wired for it.
Did you see the song I wrote for him called "Don't Get Stuck, Garbage Truck"?
No,
it's on YouTube.
Oh my god! I'll send it to you, please. Does he love it? What a good mom you are.
I just think a lot of kids' media is so uninspired, and I need more plot. So I wrote a song about garbage trucks with a little bit more plot.
That is honestly amazing, and you're so smart to think of that.
But the thing is, we all bring different strengths to the table. I don't like to go outside. I can't bake, whatever, but I'll make him custom songs. Or today I built him a magnetile statue of Bluey. I can watercolor, like we all have our stuff.
Listen, I love Bluey. I put Bluey on for the dog when I leave the house sometimes. Because they say it's good for dogs because babies and dogs have similar sight capacity.
Cute.
I know, but I sometimes I come home and I just find myself staring in front of the TV. being like, bingo, Bluey.
I know.
In my head, they're British, but I know they're Australian. Australia, or are they from New Zealand?
They're from Australia, I think. I'm really amped for this chicken salad now. This was
good.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Come see Dilaria.
Yeah. TLDR, come see Dilaria, which reminds me of Daria name-wise.
Yes, or Hilaria Baldwin, but none of these are related.
None of these are related. I was more of a Quinn anyway.
Me too. Queen. Yeah, come see Dilaria.
How long is it running for?
We're running through August 8th at the DR2 Theater. It's actually next to the Titanic Theater. It's in the same, we share a lobby with them. They just closed a couple weeks ago, but it felt fated for me in that way because I love Titanic and I took you to see Titanic. And we're in the theater next door and we're running through August 8th and come see the show. It's fun. It's a wild time.
Perfect. We're getting this out just in time.
Yay.
Okay, well, you're the best, Mama Slay. Where can people find you if they want more Caroline?
She thinks just bought it pod on Instagram is the first stop, and then we'll go from there.
And be on the lookout for her 2007 thank you piece.
The summer that was shitty.
The summer that turned shitty.
Should write a play about that. Maybe I'm inspired. Maybe I'm inspired. No one would watch it. All right, Kate, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye.